This video will show you how to replace the crankshaft position sensor on a Ford Transit-250. This will be accessed from under your engine compartment. Let's get into it. A quick note about replacing the sensor. In the end, you will have to perform a misfire monitor neutral profile correction procedure. Make sure you do that so you do not have a running condition. You will need a scan tool. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. Safely make your way under the front of the vehicle. Now in this area we can see our exhaust, we can see the frame of the vehicle, and we can see our engine. We're coming along the driver's side of the engine, and this is where we can see a metal plate. So you can see that this metal shield is held in place with a 10mm mounting bolt, and if you were to look directly above it, you're going to find that you have a 10mm mounting nut. Let's go ahead and remove the pair. Now I'm going to start with the upper mounting nut first. I'm using a ratcheting 10mm wrench. I have the mounting nut almost fully out of position. I can take hold of it by hand and remove it. A thorough inspection of all hardware as we continue on. Let's make our way to that mounting bolt next. Now keep in mind this is the last thing holding the shield in place, an exception of just hanging off of the stud along the top. Be aware so this does not fall down and potentially hurt you. Now we can remove that shield. We'll have to pull it out and away from the upper stud. Just a quick inspection of that shield. We'll set it aside. Now that I have that shield out of the way, we can see the wiring harness for our crankshaft position sensor. It makes its way into a circular port, and this is protected with a rubber plug. For this, I'm just using an angled pick to pry it out of place. If you can take it out by hand, go ahead and do so. Now you can see that this rubber plug does have a small groove in it. That's for the wiring harness to slide through. It's supposed to be there. We'll set it aside. With that rubber plug out of the way, we can look inside this area, and I can see the head of my 7mm mounting bolt. During the removal of this, let's be careful not to drop the bolt inside of the transmission housing. So I have a 7mm on a short extension. I'm just going to get it onto the mounting bolt. We'll start turning this counterclockwise. We can remove the sensor with the bolt and the wiring still attached. Now that I have that bolt loosened, it's still inside the sensor as I mentioned. Let's go ahead and start removing that sensor so we can disconnect the electrical connector. Now that that's out of place, we can continue on to that electrical connector. I can see my locking tab. We need to squeeze this in and we should be able to dislodge this. So the locking tab's on the electrical connector itself, all the way up where my fingers are here. Just squeezing that in, slide it apart. Now that I have that disconnected, just a quick inspection of the electrical connector to confirm there's no corrosion. There it is, friend. Now prior to installing our brand new part, we need to make sure we inspect inside of this port. Confirm there's no miscellaneous debris. Now while you're looking in here, you can see that we have the threaded port for our mounting bolt. Right next to it, you can see that there's also another port for the sensor to slide into. We need to make sure we align the sensor with that port and the mounting bolt port as well. Now it's time for installation of our crankshaft position sensor. We're starting with our electrical connector. This is going to help us ensure that we do not drop this inside of the transmission bell housing. Press it in, listen for an audible click, confirm it's properly secured in place. Now we can install the sensor. So I've got my sensor. We'll make sure we have it in the proper orientation. Just going to take this and slide it into position. This can take several attempts. Take your time, make sure it's in the proper place. Now that I feel like I have it pressed in, I need to twist this so I can align my mounting bolt port. Get that started in as well. Let's continue on to lightly snugging this mounting bolt. The torque for this is only 89 inch-pounds. Here we go. Let's just double check, make sure that's secured in place so it should not move around in any way. After confirming that's secured, let's continue on with our rubber protective boot here. As you remember during the removal process, it does have a small slot for the wiring to slide through. We're going to get this in place. We'll make sure it's completely seated so no miscellaneous debris makes its way inside of the transmission bell housing. So you can see I have the rubber boot around my wiring harness. This is what we need to do here. Now we can bring this around. We'll get this in the proper placement. So as you can tell, I am not seated at this point. It must be properly seated all the way around. Perfect. Let's continue on with our metal shield. Now as we bring our metal shield into place, we're resting it over the stud along the top. Just go ahead and press that right into position. Now I'm going to start with my lower piece of hardware. 10mm bolt here. We'll align that shield where it needs to go. Start in that mounting bolt. I'm leaving it loose. Now I'm going to start in the mounting nut. I have them both started in. Now I'm going to make sure they're nice and tight. Just double check to make sure the shield is properly secure. Now at this point, make your way out from under the vehicle. You're going to be using a scan tool. You need to make sure you perform the misfire monitor neutral profile correction procedure. After that, go ahead and start the vehicle and take it for a road test. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.